there from there because you are very near and that it will be visible and audible to me. So, of course, today is an excuse and I think it will not be recorded over here as far my knowledge goes. And let us see that how best. Now, I shared my syllabus. You would have seen it, is it not? And which I highlighted here. That is the United Nations Human Rights Protection System. Did you see it? Yeah, say loudly.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
here without sound is coming. No matter. It is today I learned the show. So how does the UN promote and protect human rights? That is the point. And Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, that is OHCHR. And what is the role of the High Commissioner of the Human Rights? We will see it. And the High Commissioner of the Human Rights is headquartered in Geneva with many regional offices. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has led responsibility in the UN system for the promotion and protection of the human rights. So, protecting any human rights, there is a High Commissioner, there is a Commissioner for the Human Rights, and which is having their offices in different places, and those places are enumerated here. So the office supports, here the office supports, yes, human rights components of peacekeeping mission in several, yeah, there is a disconnected. That's why I could see why it is not. Yeah, now it is connected. Yes. Yeah. So the office supports the human rights of peacekeeping mission in several countries. And in addition to its regional offices and HR centers, means human rights centers, offices and human rights advisors all over the world. Let's see because on account of it, see it's coming. So that we have some. Yes, now that's better that resounding because you are very much present here. So from there I am getting the sound, it seems. Otherwise I don't get it. This is okay, now I found it. This is the different. Now, are you hearing me? But still, I am getting the sound. Okay, let us see that in today's class we will run the show. And Africa, that is OHCRs in regional offices. The OHCRs have offices in Africa, including 4 regional offices in centers. And from them, in the Africa, which underlines attention paid to the continents by the OCHR. So, regional offices are established in Yaoundé, that is in Cameroon, and for Central Africa. So, for the Central Africa is the Cameroon, Yaoundé is a place. In Addis Ababa, it is the Ethiopia. For the East Africa, the region. In Pretoria, South Africa, and for the Southern Africa region. And in Dakar, Senegal, for the West Africa. So there are total 4 regional offices are there. Can you tell me that what are the 4? Yes, anyone?
The forces which in Africa, the first one is establishing Yaoundé, Cameroon. For Central Africa, the second office establishing in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for Eastern Africa, and then in Pretoria, South Africa, for Southern Africa, and the last one in Dakar, Senegal, for West Africa.
So whenever I asked what are the 4 regional offices, you have to say Cameroon, Addis Ababa, Pretoria, Senegal. The place's name is very important factor. Oh, now let us see what is the Human Rights Council. The Human Rights Council, see, you kept it open, your mic. You kept it open, your mic. You have to only open when you want to speak. See, now I am not getting the sound. I say, why I am getting the sound? No, when you speak, you unmute it. When you don't speak, you mute it. I don't get the sound. So that is the reason I got this problem. Okay, it doesn't matter. Sooner or later that we will solve all the problems. So there is a Human Rights Council. And the Human Rights Council, which was established in 2006 and meets in Geneva. Where is Geneva? Where is Geneva? Just you can see in the Switzerland. Is it or not? Why you will make it or no? I will make it clear. You check it. Geneva is in which country? What did it say? Read. Geneva is the second most populous city in Switzerland after Zurich, and is the most populous city of the Romandy. So now at least you know that the most populous city is Geneva, after that is Zurich, which is there in Switzerland. So now let us see. Yes, so it is in Geneva and replaced the 60 years old UN Commission on Human Rights. Before that, there is a UN Commission for the Human Rights is there 60 years old, that is replaced by, yes, replaced by, yes, unmute and give me the answer. It is replaced by Human Rights Council. Is it clear? There is. Now you can mute it. So it is replaced by the Human Rights Council, which is replaced UN Commission on the Human Rights. Is 60 years old as the independent UN intergovernmental body responsible for the human rights. You take any organization, it is an intergovernmental, interorganization, and not an independent one. So now let us see the human rights treaty bodies. What are the treaty bodies are there? When you say that the human rights treaty bodies are committees of independent experts that monitor the implementation of the core international human rights treaties. So at least you tell me, if the countries wants to make it out, what are the things they can make it out? One is treaties, another is protocols, another is declarations, and such things which is made between the sovereign countries. So here the human rights treaty bodies are committees of independent experts that monitor implementation of the core international human rights treaties. So there are many treaties are there in the human rights, and each state party to the treaty has an obligation to take steps to ensure that everyone in the state can enjoy the rights set out in the treaty. Whatever the provisions are given over there in the treaty, that each state should have to have an obligation to protect it for their subjects, and everyone in the state can enjoy the rights and set out in the treaty. So that is the object of the treaty, where a subject of the state could enjoy it. Who are the subject of the state? Anyone? Unmute and give me the answer. Who are the subject of the states? Unmute and give me the answer. Speak loudly. Citizens. Subjects means nothing but citizens.
Subjects means nothing but citizens.
Yes, mute. Yes. So the treaty bodies are composed of independent experts of recognized competence in human rights. So these bodies are very much experts in the human rights, and who are nominated and elected for the fixed renewable terms of the 4 years by the state parties. So these experts of the council, I mean the council members I am speaking about. So these experts will, for the 4 years, can you say what is the difference between a nominated and elected? Unmute and give me the answer. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you can say pass on.
Nominated difference is just being appointed. Elected means they have just a vote.
I appreciate. Mute. So that is the difference between elected and nominated. So sometimes now president is having a right to nominate certain persons, and other person will be elected by directly the franchise. So that is the thing which I want to say. Then special procedures. What are the special procedures are followed over there? The special procedures of the Human Rights Council are prominent, independent, experts working on a voluntary basis, and who examine, monitor, public report, and advise on human rights from a thematic or country-specific perspective. So these members will work independently and voluntary basis. They monitor it, public report, advise on the human rights from thematic or what is meant by thematic? Do you have an idea? Thematic. Anyone? Why doubt? We can see. Thematic means pictorial also it will give. Thematic. Pictorial things and things. Yeah, this is thematic means here what is given is having or relating to subject of a particular subject The book is organized in a thematic chapters. It is connected with the particular subject, relating or denoting the theme of a cell. There is a certain theme would be there for a book, so it is put it in a navigation manner. Then we say thematic, that word they used. And there are the topics which are studied over there for the discussion. And for that also that we can say it is a thematic. Like trying to the Prime Minister with the thematic of the piece. Means giving an explanation with an example also we can say it is a thematic. So that is the meaning of actually the thematic which is used over here. So country specific perspective would be there, and they will, who will monitor? Is the Human Rights Council members monitor, and who are the experts. Now UNDG, Human Rights Working Group. What is UNDG? Yes?
The UN Development Group.
Good. Can you say UNDG in abbreviation? Is it the acronym? Is it a initialism? Is it a shortening? Is it a contraction?
Initials.
It is initialism. Appreciate it. Mute. Because I am getting the sound automatically. Because before you are giving the answer, you unmuted very advanced. Okay, doesn't matter. Eh? So it is initialism, but when you say the NATO, SATO, OPEC, it is the acronym. And shortening means, suppose if you want to write the February, how do you write February in shortening form? F, full stop. And F should be the capital letter. Mute. That is the shortening. But contraction, it is also abbreviation. Contraction. If you don't know, you say pass on. Can't, could not. When you write can't, you don't write fully can't. Is it not? C-O-N, apostrophe T. That is contraction. So how many types of the abbreviations now you learned it? Total number 4. What are they? Unmute.
Acronym. Contraction.
And shortening. So these are the 4 types of the abbreviations are there. Okay, let us see that with the legal instruments helping the UN protection of human rights, how it can be done. The Universal Declaration of the Human Rights and had the 2 covenants. See, even the covenants also, it is like a treaties, protocols, and declarations. The covenants in the sense, the conditions. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that is in 1948, was the first legal document and protecting the universal human rights. So the first document which is made is 1948, that is the UDHR. So in the earlier classes, I already told you that how many times human rights are used in the UNDHR. UDHR, how many times that human rights are used over there? 7 times that it is used over there in the, it's the first legal document, that is the UDHR, and it deals about the universal human rights. It is generally agreed to the foundation of the international human rights law. So if anybody asks you, what is the foundation of the international human rights law, then what would be your answer? Unmute and give me the answer.
The foundation of human rights law was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
The answer is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That is the answer. The foundation of the international human rights law is nothing but the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That is the foundation of it. So, together with the international covenants, there are covenants also there. And what are the covenants? On civil and political rights, number 1. And the international covenants on economic, social, and cultural rights. These are the 2 covenants are there. the three instruments from the so-called International Bill of Human Rights. And another instrument is called International Bill of Human Rights is also there. So the two covenants and International Human Rights of Bill, these are all will be part of the International Human Rights Law. And the overall foundation is the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. There is the origin, there is the mother. So other instruments, let us see. A series of the International Human Rights Treaties. See, how many I told you? Treaties, covenants, protocols, declarations. So here treaties, it is nothing but it is the agreements between the two sovereign nations. So a series of the human rights treaties and other instruments adopted since 1945 have expanded the body of international human rights law. So the other instruments, which is from the 1945, has expanded the body of international human rights law. But actually, the international human rights law come from the 1948 with the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. That is actually the basis. Now let us see the other instruments. What are they? A series of the international human rights treaties and other instruments adopted since 1945 expanded. Okay, there's already made it out. In 2007, General Assembly adopted the UN Declaration of the Rights of the Indigenous People. This is another, a treaty would be there, a declaration is there. There is a UN Declaration on the rights of the indigenous people. You know indigenous people? Who are the indigenous people?
The native.
Yes, native people. That's all. So that is the point they made it. On the Department of the Political and Peace Building Affairs, a department would be there. That is the Political and Peace Building Affairs plays a leading role in the work of the UN to help the countries hold credible, transparent, and inclusive elections. So this department will take the care of to see the credibility and transparent, and if there are any elections would be there, and this political and peace building affairs will undertake it. But since 1992, the UN has assisted more than 100 of its member states with electoral support. So UN has assisted more than 100 of its member states with the electoral support in such a things. Now you tell me, how many states are there in UN at present? Anyone? How many states are there in the UN now as a member states? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass. Total 197 states are there. Among the 197, 4 states are still in consideration because Security Council has not given it and made it very much clear. I think the 4 states are, one is Vatican City, another is, I've forgotten because before we could remember it, but I don't know how I missed it. So, but anyway, the 4 cities are there. Palestine is another city. Then some New Zealand, some other area would be there. I don't know exactly. But actually, we do have 193. Actually, we do have 193, but 197 is there, but 4 still not recognized. So 193 states are there. Can you tell me which is the last state recognized as the member of the United States? The last state. Idea? Say pass on, I will give you the answer. South Sudan. Mute. It is a South Sudan is the last member state and it became a member of UN. So now let us see the democracy. What is meant by democracy? Can anybody will tell me? Unmute and give me the answer. Tanzania is a democratic country, is it or not? Of course, there is a presidential form of government is there. But India, there is no presidential form of government. Prime Minister form of the government is there. Parliamentary form of the government is there. Directly elected through the franchise by the people. So, and the democracy based on the rule of law. So democracy is the rule of law is there. What is the rule of law? Neither you are high, nor you are low, nor anything. Everybody is equal in the eye of the law. That is the rule of law. So, is ultimately a mean to achieve international peace and security, economic and social progress and developments, and respect of human rights. So why this democracy would be there? It is to achieve the, number one, international peace and security. See, whenever the peace is there, it is attached with the security. Did you observe it anytime? If the security is there, there is no peace. So peace and security and economic, it is a very much important factor. If the economic development would not be there, and it is very low poverty line that is the Tanzania. But to my knowledge, Tanzania is not a poor country. No. Tanzania is not, because it is having the valuable resources, valuable natural things are there. But only the thing is, no, the mode of tapping where Mesa is more there, and that is the reason we cannot make it out. Otherwise, it is not Tanzania is not a poor country. It is having so many things, and even a mica still you did not extract it. But there is a good mica mines are there in Tanzania. If I not be mistaken, please check it. So even oil in the ocean and adjacent land. Oil resources are many, but still it is not tapped over there. So what I want to say is that Tanzania is not the poor country. It is a rich country having the many resources. But because of not tapping the properly, it is the economic level is down over there. So economic and social progress. And social progress is also very much important factor and development and the respect of the human rights. If the social progress and economic development would not be there, naturally, the people will not be given the respect to it. And there will be a chance of the exploitation, and the exploitation leads to the human rights violation. And the three pillars of the United Nations mission as set forth in the UN Charter. So now, for the 70 years, the United Nations has worked on the front lines every day around the world in the pillars of the, what are the three pillars?
Human rights, peace and security, and development.
Yes, human rights, number one. Number two, peace and security. Number three, development. If you happen to see the UN emblem, what is written in the adjacent to it? The same, human rights, peace and security, and development on the healthy planet. On the healthy planet, that was written over there. And you check it when you see the logo of the UN. Okay, let us see that at the 2005 World Summit, all the world's government reaffirmed that the democracy is a universal value based on the freely expressed will of the people to determine their own political, economic, social, and cultural system and their full participation in all aspects of their lives. So, when you choose with a voter, you should have to think in all aspects of it. What are the aspects? The people to determine its own political, because of only franchise, the vote, their own political, economic, and social and cultural system with their full participation in all aspects of their lives. So we should have to think it over before we are electing any member to either to the president or to the member of the parliament, and stressed that democracy, development, and respect of all human rights and fundamental freedoms are independent and mutually reinforcing. Either you say the democracy and development and all the human rights, including the fundamental freedoms, are intertwined, means they are not separated. They are, one will not go without another one. So it is interwoven, we can say, the development, fundamental rights and human rights and all those things. So democratic principles are woven through the normative fabric of the United Nations. You know fabric? Inguo. It is a fabric, cloth. It is a woven either with the handloom, with the hand, or through the machine. So this is whether hand or machine, the fabric, which I am wearing it. It is a power. It is a power, not hand. There is a fabric with the hand, because they will use the traditional way of it. So such a fabric also available over there. And I don't know whether you know it as saris, Indian saris. Though they will be hand woven, because there will be some gold is added over there to give you a good look for the woman. Yeah, it is a hand woven, not a machine one. Yeah.
Once those were they saw certain saying that clothes which have eyes.
Yeah, the high price.
Yeah.
See, we can say Banaras. So Banaras, the saris are now, there will be some gold tilt is there. And there is a small thread of the gold, and which is designed over there, which will give the beauty to the saree. And when a woman wears it. But anyway, what I want to say, it is a fabric, it is interwoven and woven through the United Nations, the democratic principles are. So in 2009, guidance note on the democracy of the Secretary General set out the United Nations framework for the democracy based on the universal principle. So this democracy is based on the universal principles and the norms and the standards and the committee of the organization to the principle, coherent and the consistent action in support of democracy. So whatever I want to say is there, democracy and the rule of law, both are going together. And one cannot be removed with the another one. Both are joined together. So that would I want to express over there. And if this any violation should be there, then we can say there is a human rights violation. So with another offices, bodies are responsible for protecting the human rights. What are the other bodies are there which will protect the human rights? Can we read the first one, which I highlighted on the screen? Unmute and read.
Secretary Council.
No, Secretary General.
The Secretary General.
No, you did not mute it. You unmute it. Because I could not get the sound here. Yes, now I could hear.
The Secretary General of special representative who are advocates against human rights violation.
Yes.
Special representative.
You continue.
The special representative of children and armed conflict.
There is a break of voice is there, but anyway, mute it. Because there is break of voice, we can get it. Mute it. Mute. Yes.
Yes.
Mute. You did not mute it. Yeah, now you muted it. Because I could know it, because see, I can get the sound. Yeah. So now, number one, special representative of the Secretary General of the Children's and Armed Conflict. There is another body which will protect the human rights. Number two, special representatives of the Secretary General sexual violence in conflict. See, the abuse of the sexual violence among the children or among the women. The special representative of the Secretary General on violence against the children. See, one is armed conflict, second is violence, that is sexual violence, and third is violence against the children. So these are the other bodies which will help the human rights. So on 19 January 2018, United States Secretary General Antonio Guterres established the International Commission of Inquiry envisioned by the Agreement on the Peace and Reconciliation in Mali. I don't know, in Mali is African continent. Mali. I think it's in Africa somewhere. But anyway, let us see it later. He appointed Lena Sund, not Lena. Yes, Lena Sund. She is from Sweden. Vinod Bullel from the Mauritius, and Simon Munzu, Cameroon. So one from Sweden, one from Mauritius, one from Cameroon, to serve as a commissioners for the selected Mrs. Sund as a chairperson over there. So the committee is appointed by the, mute it. General Antonio Guterres, and where the chairman is Sund. So they established, at the request of the signatory parties to the agreement, the Commission of Inquiry was to advance the national reconciliation and support of Malian authorities effort in the fight against the impunity. So the Secretary General has appointed the commission, and where the chairman is Sund, and she is from the Sweden. Yeah, the commissioners who are serving in their personal capacity investigated serious violation of the international human rights. Yes, mute, because you put it on mute. And humanitarian law committed in Mali since January 2012 and submitted a report in the Secretary General. So the Secretary General appointed some of the committee to see if any other violations would be there in the countries or not. So I think still we do have some time to continue it. So let us see, on 24th February 2020, Secretary General Antonio Guterres launched a call to action for the human rights. So always they take care of the human rights, and they see that the people will be protected from the violation, either in the conflict through the sexual abuse are concerned, or the harassment is concerned, or any other manner. So human rights are our ultimate tool to help the society to grow in freedom. So if we want to see the society growth would be there, then human rights protection is must. If anybody's country growth, how you could determine? Anyone? Anybody, any country's growth, how do you determine? On the GDP. On the GDP. So let us see that the human rights are our ultimate tool to help the society to grow in freedom. So society will not be grown freedom without a protection of the human rights. So he told the member states on opening day of the UN Human Rights Council, that is the 43rd session in Geneva. I already told you, Geneva is in which country? I appreciate. And he detailed a 7-point blueprint for positive change. So he wants to make it some of the points over here, and each the call for the change. So High Commissioner for the Human Rights, Michele Bachelet said, and although the threats to the human rights, development and peace were on the rise, so were the practical, actionable solution to these issues. Do you think that there is no violation of human rights in any country? Yes. There are definitely human rights violations are there. The poor will be suppressed and the rich man will dominate over there. But only organizations like the human rights commissions in the regional level, if you brought to the notice, they will bring to the notice of the regional offices, the national offices, and the international offices. And if sometimes it goes over there, it will be raised in the UN debates. And there is the Rwanda genocide. Have you heard it? Rwanda genocide. And, no, not Rwanda. Rwanda is a Tibetan place. I think it is. The name is different now, where all the Muslims they are genocided over there because there is a Buddhist place. And there is a great violence would be there. The matter is discussed in the UN. In the same way, because of the violence there, because of the political parties, the Hindus, and there is a Muslim genocide is also there in India. And many human rights activities, they raise the point. Again, the same, it is discussed in the UN. And the UN, I don't think that what the action that they're going to take it out. If any good Samaritan would be there, they can file a case in the International Court of Justice also. Even sometimes they can file a case in the criminal case in the International Criminal Court also. Yes, to take an action against the state, because you cannot file the action in the state itself, because it is their government would be there, so it will not be entertained. Am I right? So let us see the Security Council. And Security Council is the actually main organ of the UN. It's the main organ of the UN among the five. Which is there in the New York. Only one is there outside. That is the International Court of Justice. Where it is placed? Place. The Hague. And it is in? The Hague is in Netherlands. Appreciate. So that is the point which I want to make it out. So Security Council, at times deals with the grave human rights violation. Even Security Council will interfere if the great violations in any country is there. It's suo motu. Even though no party is made, but I'm sure that because sometimes suo motu, the court will cognize an offense and take an action. Are you following me? If a great human right violation is there, and you need not, any organization will not file a case, the court itself, based on the facts, based on the reports, based on the media, suo motu will cognize that offense and call for the explanation. So here the UN the Security Council is the authority to investigate and mediate, dispatch a mission. Even they can send the security forces also, like they sent to the Afghanistan. Are you following me? But what happened later? What happened later in the Afghanistan? All the UN peacekeeping force, they run away because Taliban came and attacked all them. So all the currencies in dollars I saw in WhatsApp group, a big bunch of the bundles are left over there, the UN dollars in Afghanistan. But anyway, that is the international issue is there. Now they cannot interfere it because it's their country and it is having its own domination, because it is their Islamic country and they want the Islamic way of life. So anyway, that the people are there. If any foreign country is having interest in Tanzania, do you think that it is merely invest in Tanzania without expecting any from the Tanzania? Answer is no. Suppose if they invest at least 1%, definitely they will extract 5%. But one thing is good, employment will be created over there for the people. Are you following? That is the plus point one. So the Security Council may issue a ceasefire directives I don't know, in the Ukraine, they did the Security Council made the ceasefire. I don't think that, but only allied states might ask them to stop the fire. This is my hunch, but I am not sure. So the Security Council may issue the ceasefire directives also and dispatch a military observers, yes, and peacekeeping force also. And you know whether you don't know, there is a war between the Ethiopia and Eritrea, because Eritrea is a part of Ethiopia, but later on they want to become independent. So they fought for a long time, and overall they won it. Eritrean won it. Now Eritrea is one of the recognized state in the UN. At that instance, to make the peacekeeping, the UN peacekeeping force was deployed over there, at the border or in the Tanzania. Yes. At the time, I was working in the University of Asmara as an assistant professor. For the 3 years I worked over there. In the beginning of the war, it's very wonderful thing. If you want to stay, you can stay here. If you want to go, we will give you the ticket and 3 months salary to you. You go. So what I did know, I am alone. So I took the ticket, then I went to India by taking the 3 months salary. But afterwards, okay, ceasefire is over, Amna Shida, Karibu-san. So they called me again because already ticket is with me. So I went back. 3 months enjoyed in my family. Because UN peacekeeping force was deployed over there by the UN Security Council to ceasefire. And now it becomes Ethiopia is different and Eritrea is different. They do have own independence and they do have own presidential form of the government would be there. So Eritrean currency is Nakfa and the Ethiopian currency is, any idea? Bir. So that was the thing. So why I am giving, Security Council may send the peacekeeping forces. Security Council also make the ceasefire. For what? For any war or human rights violations. So the Security Council opt for the enforcement of measures such as economic sanctions also. See, the Security Council make the economic sanctions in the Libya. You know Libya, there is very long Security Council sanctions were later on, of course. Now Libya is free, but it's a very much rich country. Libya is a very much rich country and self-sufficient country. So anyway, that what I want to say is the arms embargoes and financial penalties, yes, it can impose, and restrictions, it can be imposed. See, even there is no diplomatic relations between the Eritrea and Ethiopia now. No. All Eritreans should have to go to the Eritrea. All Ethiopians should have to go to the Ethiopia. So they migrated. They migrated. Even wife and husband. The wife is Ethiopian and she doesn't want to go to the Eritrea. And the husband is Eritrean, so I don't want to go to the Ethiopia. So they are separated. And husband is staying in the Eritrea and the wife is staying in the Ethiopia. So a financial penalties also it can make it. The Security Council and restrictions and travel.